Okay, so we're diving into bulletproof glass today. Well, actually, bullet-resistant glass, right?
Right, right. Bulletproof is a bit of a misnomer.
Yeah, I figured as much. But honestly, before you sent over all this research, I just kind of thought it was, well, all the same.
It's easy to think that. Most people see it in movies or on the news and don't think twice about it. But the science behind it, how it actually stops a bullet, it's fascinating stuff.
Okay, see, now you've got me intrigued.
Huh.
So what makes one type of bullet-resistant glass different from another? Is it just the thickness?
Thickness plays a role, definitely, but it's more than that. Think of it like this. Would you expect a bike helmet to protect you in a car crash?
Touché? No.
Exactly. Different threats, different levels of protection. Bullet-resistant glass is categorized into levels, usually level I up to level 3. Each one designed to withstand increasingly powerful ammunition.
So like a bank teller's window would be a different level than what say, a high-ranking government official might have.
Precisely. The level of protection needs to match the potential threat. But what's cool is, regardless of the level, they all share some pretty fascinating science. It all starts with layers, kind of like a high-tech sandwich.
High-tech sandwich, huh? I'm listening.
Yeah.
What kind of layers are we talking about?
One of the key ingredients is something called polyvinyl butyrol, or PVB for short. And what might surprise you is this isn't some super secret lab-created material. You actually encounter it every day.
Wait, really? Where?
Your car.
My car.
Your windshield, to be precise. It's that layer that keeps it from shattering into a million pieces if you're in an accident.
Oh, right. I remember my driver's ed teacher going on about that. But to think that something designed to keep my windshield intact is also key in stopping bullets, that's wild.
It's all about absorbing and dissipating energy, which is crucial in both scenarios. But PVB isn't the only player here. We've also got polycarbonate in the mix.
Polycarbonate. Now that rings a bell. Isn't that what some eyeglass lenses are made of?
You got it. Those super tough safety goggles you see in workshops, even those old indestructible DVDs we used to have, they owe their durability to polycarbonate.
Okay, so we've gone from car windshields and DVDs to potentially stopping a bullet. You've definitely got my attention. But how does polycarbonate factor into all of this?
Think of it as the first line of defense in our high-tech sandwich. It's incredibly impact-resistant, so it takes that initial shock of impact, preventing the bullet from penetrating further.
Okay, I'm starting to see how the pieces come together. Tough polycarbonate on the outside, then layers of this energy-absorbing PVB. But how do they all bond to become that single solid piece of super strong glass?
That's where things get really interesting. We're talking about a critical piece of equipment called an autoclave. Picture this. A super-powered oven, but instead of baking cookies, it's fusing layers of glass and PVB together. That's the autoclave in a nutshell.
Okay, I think I get it. So it's like an industrial-sized panini press for bullet-resistant glass.
Right.
But how does that heat and pressure actually work to create the final product?
It's all about precision. The heat softens those PVB layers, making them flow and meld between the sheets of glass. Imagine melting cheese in a grilled cheese sandwich. That's the magic of heat bonding the layers.
Okay, I love that analogy. The cheese is the PVB holding everything together. Delicious and effective. But what about the pressure? Is that just to keep things from getting too melty?
That's a great way to put it. The pressure makes sure those PVB layers fill every little space between the glass, squeezing out any air bubbles, creating one incredibly strong unit. It's this high-stakes baking process that transforms individual components into that robust material we know as bullet-resistant glass.
It's like this perfectly choreographed dance of heat and pressure, turning separate ingredients into something so much stronger. It's amazing how a complex process like that results in something we often just take for granted. Speaking of taking it for granted, you mentioned banks aren't the only places we find bullet-resistant glass. Where else does this tech play a vital, yet often unseen, role?
You'd be surprised. Think about the last time you were at a convenience store, especially one open late at night. You might have noticed a layer of protection separating you from the cashier.
Oh yeah, those. I just figured they were extra thick or something.
Often, that's bullet-resistant glass acting as a deterrent against robberies.
Wow, I never even considered that. It just goes to show it really is everywhere.
Yeah.
Are there any other places I might encounter this hidden hero of materials?
Absolutely. Jewelry stores, high-end retailers, even ticketing counters at airports or train stations often utilize bullet-resistant glass for security. And let's not forget vehicles, not just armored trucks, but also some civilian cars designed for high-profile individuals or those working in high-risk professions.
Right, right, like those super thick windows you see on some luxury cars.
Yeah.
It all makes sense now, but this deep dive wouldn't be complete without talking about the science behind it all. How does bullet-resistant glass actually stop a bullet? It's not just that it's super hard and the bullet bounces off, right?
You're right. It's not just about hardness. It's about expertly dissipating energy. Imagine a bullet's force as a shock wave. Bullet-resistant glass absorbs and diffuses that energy upon impact.
So it's not so much about deflecting the bullet, but absorbing its impact.
Exactly. Remember those PVB layers we talked about? They're the heroes. Picture a tennis ball hitting a trampoline. The trampoline stretches and absorbs the energy, causing the ball to bounce back with less force. The PVB layers work similarly.
So instead of shattering like regular glass, the bullet-resistant glass stretches and flexes, spreading out the impact.
Exactly. That outer layer of polycarbonate might crack, which is actually part of the plan, but those inner layers stretch and flex, dispersing the energy and preventing the bullet from penetrating.
It's not just about being tough, it's about being smart.
Yeah.
And this whole energy dissipation thing, it makes me think about other ways we deal with force and impact, even in everyday life. Like how crumple zones in cars are designed to absorb energy in a crash.
That's a fantastic connection. It's all about directing and managing energy to minimize damage. And it's that same principle that makes the future of bullet-resistant technology so fascinating.
Hold on, are you saying there are even more advancements happening in this field? I thought we were already in pretty cutting-edge territory. More advancements. Okay, now you've really got me on the edge of my seat. What's next for bullet-resistant technology? Are we talking like invisible force fields protecting us from stray bullets?
Well, maybe not force fields just yet, but some of the research happening right now is pretty incredible. Imagine bullet-resistant glass that's even lighter and thinner than what we have now, but even more effective.
Wait, lighter, thinner, and stronger. How is that even possible?
That's the thing about materials science. There's always something new to discover. Researchers are experimenting with new types of glass, incorporating things like graphene, even spider silk.
Hold on, spider silk.
Yeah.
Like from actual spiders. That sounds like something straight out of a comic book.
It does, doesn't it? But spider silk is amazing stuff. Pound for pound, it's tougher than steel. Scientists are finding ways to synthesize it in the labs and incorporate it into materials like bullet-resistant glass, making it even more resilient.
Okay, you've officially blown my mind with that spider silk fact. But hey, I'm here for it. What about those smart materials you mentioned before? Anything close to reality there?
Absolutely. Imagine glass that can change how opaque it is on demand. So it goes from transparent to opaque at the flip of a switch, providing instant protection. Or what about glass that uses electromagnetic fields to actually deflect incoming projectiles, just enough to throw them off course and prevent penetration?
Okay, wow, now that is some next level stuff. Changing opacity, electromagnetic fields. It's like we're living in a science fiction movie.
It does feel that way sometimes, doesn't it? But the line between science fiction and reality is getting blurrier all the time. These technologies are in development, and they could revolutionize not just bullet-resistant glass, but a whole range of protective materials.
You know, I came into this deep dive thinking I'd learn a bit about how bank windows worked, and now I feel like my mind is completely blown. It's amazing to think about how much goes into something we often just glance over in our daily lives.
That's the beauty of digging deeper, isn't it? Next time you see a pane of bullet-resistant glass, you won't just see a barrier. You'll see a testament to human ingenuity, a combination of art and science constantly evolving.
You know, I think you just gave me a newfound appreciation for these polycarbonate eyeglasses I'm wearing right now. They're not just helping me see, they're a tiny marvel of engineering.
Exactly, and that's what's so exciting. We started with a simple goal, wanting to make glass stronger, and ended up with this incredible world of science, unexpected applications, and a future full of possibilities.
It really makes you wonder what other life-saving materials are out there, just waiting to be discovered or invented.
That's a great question, and I think it's a question worth pondering as we move further into this incredible age of scientific advancement.
Well said. From car windshields to spider silk, the journey of bullet-resistant glass is a testament to human curiosity and our drive to protect ourselves and each other.
Absolutely.
And on that note, we'll wrap up this deep dive into the incredible world of bullet-resistant glass. Until next time, keep those curiosity gears turning, and we'll catch you on our next adventure into the fascinating corners of knowledge.